8:34 right now, and the clock certainly ticking for restaurant owners across the 5 boroughs to meet tomorrow's application deadline to keep their outdoor dining sheds and sidewalk cafes. So outdoor dining obviously became a lifeline for restaurants during the pandemic, right? More than 13,000 eateries still have outdoor dining, but they will be forced to take those down or face fines if they don't apply for permits.
The city's permanent outdoor dining program also comes with a new set of restrictions and new costs, which could explain why many restaurants haven't applied. Andrew Rigie is the executive director of the New York City Hospitality Alliance, and he joins us this morning to discuss what we can expect moving forward. So good morning to you. Great to have you.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
So let's look at the numbers. I mean, you know, the city has only received just over 1,800 applications, but there are more than 13,000 restaurants that have these outdoor dining units. So what's the holdup? What do you think is happening here?
Well, we knew a lot of restaurants were going to wait till the last minute to apply, so we're hoping that number increases. You know, this new program is so much better in so many ways than the old sidewalk cafe law. I know the city is working hard to get people registered into it, but clearly if those numbers don't jump up, we need to look at the system and make sure it's as inclusive as possible, particularly for the smaller restaurants across the 5 boroughs.
Yeah, do you think that restaurants may be waiting just because of the cost aspect of it, right? These dining sheds, there's a permit application, then they have to come down in November, get re-put up in the springtime in case if it snows and so on and so forth. So it's costly.
Yeah, I mean, there's some technical reasons why they're waiting. Restaurants that never had to pay for it because it was a crisis of pandemic now have to get used to paying for it. And we always knew, particularly with the roadway dining structures, what I call streeteries, that there's a cost if you have to take it down, you have to store it, and you have to put it back up. But what's important for folks to know is that sidewalk cafes, they cost less money to operate, generally speaking, and they can be operated year-round.
So are the permit fees different depending on where they are?
So the permit fees for the new program about half the price that they were under the old sidewalk cafe law.
Okay.
But the consent fees are also a lot less money too. That's like how you pay per square foot. So it's something to look at to make sure that we not only have many more restaurants apply, but because there are zoning restrictions removed from the program, we want to see restaurants across the 5 boroughs participate that before COVID could never even have a sidewalk cafe.
And how often do they have to be renewed? Every year?
So they need to be renewed every 4 years.
Every 4 years.
What's it cost?
So it's about $1,050 for every 4 years, but then it's the consent fees that you pay the per square footage that are a bit more expensive.
Okay, and so walk me through the complaints that you've heard so far about this, right?
Yeah, so I mean, one, I think it's a new program, so it is a big change going through the process online. I know the folks at the city are trying to work with restaurants, but again, you're going on, you're trying to submit all this information. It can be a little confusing, a little bit clunky. So that's something that I think everyone needs to look at, but they need to call the city like today, go online, do it, because it's the deadline if you want to continue operating your outdoor dining. So like today is the day for restaurants if they haven't yet.
But will there be a grace period though for folks to get their permits?
So our hope is the city needs to work with small businesses, not just start going and, you know, issuing fines. We want education first, fining as a last resort. And these inspectors should also use the opportunity to remind restaurants that if they miss this deadline, they can still apply. They just need to stop operating. So maybe they extend the deadline a bit, but we need to get as many restaurants to participate. So it truly is the biggest and best outdoor dining, al fresco culture anywhere in the country.
That's important, actually. So if they miss the deadline today, and say they do it tomorrow or even sometime next week, does it kick in right away?
So they're technically supposed to remove whatever they have now operating.
Okay.
But they can still apply. So next week if someone says, oh, I missed the deadline, they can still apply. So we're going to still have more restaurants applying for outdoor dining. But we really built the system, or the city did, and we advocated for it to make sure that there was like a period where you could transition. So in the middle of summer, you don't just lose your outdoor dining, wait months for it to be approved, and then start operating. That's why if you apply by August 3rd, you continue operating what you currently have until you're ultimately approved for the new program. You set up under the new standards, but we need to get more restaurants in. And like I said, if there's things that need to be looked at, the city really must do that.
All right. Andrew Rigie, thanks for coming in and laying it all out for us.
Exactly.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah, good.